may well be confronting Sampdoria in the shape of this Napoli side that has so much improved since their dismal start to the campaign. Well, David Platt's recovery from injury is the good news then for Sampdoria. His alert eye for an opening has helped augment the outstanding work in particular of Ruud Gullit. Platt's inclusion means it's an unchanged side, with Serena still claiming a place, even though Rossi is fit enough to be among the Sampdoria substitutes this afternoon. It's not the Napoli side that coach Lippi would have named as his first choice lineup. The captain Ferrara is suspended and Cannavaro injured, so they're both missing at the back, where Corradini partners Franchini in the marking roles, with Bia hoping to continue his excellent season as the Napoli sweeper. Di Canio is back and playing well after injury, and Buzo keeps his place against the team from which, of course, he's currently on loan. It's a fixture that's certainly a lot harder to forecast now than it was a few months ago, after Sampdoria had outplayed Napoli on the opening day. It was a fairly inept display by the home side that afternoon, but since then, as they underline when we feature their impressive away win over Parma just before Christmas, Napoli have looked a far more cohesive and competent unit, and their tally of 3 away successes so far is already better than their total for the whole of last season. Teams then preparing for the kick-off. Alongside me, Liam Brady, former Sampdoria player, now manager of Brighton, my hometown club. You don't well down there, Liam. You started well.
Yes, doing not bad, Peter, thank goodness.
Well done. What about this match then today? Sampdoria, as Malcolm was suggesting there, possible title candidates. Napoli also playing well. How difficult a target do you think Napoli can set for Sampdoria?
Well, after the first game of the season, which we've already mentioned, Peter, it looked as if Napoli were going to be the whipping boys of the Italian Serie A this season. But they've turned things round, and Sampdoria have been known to slip up, especially here in Genoa. And I think we're in for a very evenly balanced game. And a very difficult one to call.
But taking the throw, Sampdoria attacking the goal to our left. Here's Ivani. The man in top form for Sampdoria, Ivani. On loan, of course, from Milan. Sampdoria remain a side of genuine menace in their quest for the title. Only Juventus have scored more goals in Serie A this season, with Napoli, incidentally, the next highest. This is Gambaro, who scored in that very impressive win for Napoli, away to Parma. Forward by Jugovic. Via. Now Gambaro, who could operate equally effectively on either flank. He's on the left today. Down goes Di Canio. On loan from Juventus. And by all accounts, he had an outstanding game last week against Foggia, after he'd returned from injury. An injury that I gather has been niggling him all week, but he's fit enough to start the game anyway. All read then by Beer, trying to release the lightning talents of Fonseca. Pitch very heavy, as James and Malcolm were saying beforehand. A lot of rain in Genoa. Necchia's pass. Almost linking with Buzo, who's tucked in down this right side. Away goes Serena. Pressure on Serena now for the number 3 shirt, with Rossi, who had been playing at left back before his injury, on the bench today. Now Buzo. Getting whistled by the Sampdoria fans. He is, of course, on loan from Sampdoria, where he was never able to command a regular first-team place. But Napoli opening brightly. Gambaro. Opportunity to cross it in. Away by Manini. Here's Turn. Now Buzo. Looking for Fonseca. Manini just got a foot in, though. And away by Ivani. Down goes Di Canio. Another free kick to Napoli. Fabio Baldas, the referee today. Well, Trieste, one of the most experienced officials in Serie A. That's Jonas Tern, the Swede, who got his first goal for Napoli at that win over Parma. And it was just the fillip he needed to lift his game. Lombardo got the winner for Sampdoria and their win over Inter in the Italian Cup first leg in the week. Buzo to Tern. On for Pecchia. Viakovon, though, read the situation well. Now Tern. Quickly confronted, though, by Ivani. Off goes Mancini, and he was clearly held back. Mancini, who's been struggling with a thigh injury, and certainly didn't look his old self in the game we featured last week with Sampdoria. But he's had some high praise this week from David Platt, who reckons he's just about the best player he's ever played with, and says Mancini's 60% fit is better than no Mancini. Gambaro. Get back off Lombardo, whose form has been a significant feature in Napoli's outstanding run this season. It has taken them right up into third place. 3 points behind the leaders Milan, who will expect to pick up 2 more points today. They're at home to Lecce, the bottom club. Juventus are away to Cremonese, and Parma at home to Udinese. News of those matches as we receive it. 5 minutes gone, no score here. Both teams endeavouring to settle into their stride. Fonseca was the target, but this is Serena. Ivani. Busy, industrious player, Ivani. Looking there for the run of Jugovic. Now Mancini. Well, it was in the middle, and Platt coming into one of those typically well-timed runs by David Platt. And Sampdoria have won the corner.
Very good ball from Mancini. He's such an important player for Sampdoria, and he's the one that can pick out the runs of Gullit and the runs of David Platt. And I think I'm inclined to agree with David when he says that better have an unfit Mancini in the side, because he really is an inventive player, Peter.
The man's vision has led to so many goals for Sampdoria. The call was from Lombardo. Not all that far away either. Just got the merest of touches there, and wide of the post.
Yes, normally you'd have a man in front of the attacker at the near post, but Napoli didn't have it there, and Lombardo was given a slight chance to open the scoring.
Italia Latella in goal for Napoli today. It was Di Fusco the last time we featured Napoli. Lombardo whipping over the cross, and safely gathered by Giuseppe Italia Latella. Not the easiest of names to pronounce, I prefer Di Fusco. Italia Latella is the first choice. He had been out through injury, but returned last week for the draw with Foggia. It's David Platt. 6 goals so far this season. Only 2 in his last 10, so he'll be anxious to add to his tally this afternoon. Turn. Now Di Canio was very skillful and has the ability to open up any defence if he's on top of his game. Here's Di Canio again, away from Sacchetti. Now Jugovic, the Serb. Surging through the middle, wide of it was Hullet. Well back by Corradini for Napoli. Viakovon. Fouled by Fonseca. The Uruguayan star, who's again in a rich vein of form up front for Napoli this season.
I think we saw an instant ago there, Peter, Jugovic trying to run with the ball in the centre of the pitch, and it looks really difficult to do that. It's very, very heavy. I've never seen this pitch, the pitch quite as bad as this here in Genoa.
Platt laid off to Jugovic. Now Sacchetti. Lombardo outmaneuvered though by Gambaro. Pecchia. who has slotted in so well to the Napoli side, Pecchia. Keeping out more experienced players such as Pollicano, who's on the bench. Platt doing well. Away from Bodin. But I think he got his wires crossed then, David Platt. Doubtful right up to the last minute, really, Platt, because of this injury that he collected in the win over Inter in midweek. Villa with the free header. Here's Manini, out-jumped though by Di Canio. Viercovod comes across, playing his 400th game today in Serie A. Viercovod. Only Galli, the former Italian international goalkeeper, has played more among current players in the Italian top flight. Bodin with the free kick, but harmlessly through.
Pietro Vercoud has been a great servant for Sampdoria over the years. He's a tremendous defender. But they've had their problems this season, Sampdoria, in keeping clean sheets. And they really must do that, and must start to do that if they're going to challenge Milan to win the title.
Well, Ruud Gullit has been saying this week he's happy that they're not top of the table at the moment. He's quite happy for the pressure to stay on Milan. And he knows all about that, of course, from his days in the San Siro. 6 celebrated years with Milan. Ruud Gullit, along with this fellow Ivani, who's taking the free kick now. Looking for Gullit. Now Lombardo. Here's Sacchetti. Mancini having to chase, chasing to good effect, but then Fonseca just left his leg trailing. Away by turn, eventually anyway, but only as far as Viercovod. Buzo. Gambaro. Slipped the attentions then of Sacchetti. And across came the thunderous figure of Manini. Another man who's been struggling with an injury this week. But he's recovered in time. And very important to Sampdoria's defensive strategy. This fellow Gambaro, of course, you remember from your days with Sampdoria, Liam.
Yeah, he was what we would describe as an apprentice over here when I was at Sampdoria. He's a genuine boy, I'm sure he is. And he's been around a few places. He's been to Parma, he's been to Milan, and he's turned out to be a very, very good attacking fullback.
Hoping to impress against Sampdoria, his former club then today for Napoli. Out by Sacchetti, he's found Lombardo. Touched on to Gullit. Pretty even so far. Down goes Lombardo. Now Gullit. Fonseca back defending now. Gullit almost got the shot in. Ivani. Certainly both teams struggling to come to terms with the difficult conditions. Jugovic. Via so quickly into the tackle then on Ivani. Now Gambaro. Napoli always dangerous on the break with Fonseca up front. Still Gambaro taking on Sacchetti. And he has won the corner.
Yes, that's what we were on about earlier on, Peter. Typical run from Gambaro, very forceful player. Tries to get to the back line and constantly ends up getting corners and throw-ins. That's a great relief of pressure for the Napoli side to have a player like that in the team.
So maybe a test here for Pagliuca in the Sampdoria goal. Di Canio. Bodin let it run through. Bodin again. Then Platt's challenge. Now it's Gambaro. Here's Hullet. Serena's gone streaking away down the left. It's Buzo. Fonseca. Cross down low, it's Mancini. But defending by Bia. She's left Mancini injured. And Lombardo with the header back all the way to Paliuca. And here's that confrontation again as Mancini pulled away. I think he's okay though. And they've rather cancelled each other out so far, Liam.
Yes, and one of the things that I've noticed, and I noticed the last time I was with you here, Peter, for a game in Genoa, was Sampdoria are very, very unbalanced. Most of their play goes down the right, hardly ever down the left. And I think that's a bit of a weakness.
Well, they're trying to make some progress down the left now with Jugovic, covered though by Bia, who is having an excellent first season in Naples. He's actually a Parma player, one of many who's come on loan to Napoli. They can't afford to buy anybody. Bondin among the newcomers, the only one they paid for outright. Serious financial problems for Napoli at the moment. Had another board meeting this week. They're heavily in debt and they have to cut this down pretty soon. So maybe there will be more departures, certainly come the end of the season. Bondin. Gambaro making another sortie down the left. Whistle's gone, free kick to Sampdoria. Iacobo, an anguished look on his face. They don't come much harder than this fellow, though. Just caught then by Fonseca. Well, let's have a word or two from Malcolm McDonald now. Malcolm, what have you made of it so far?
I think that Napoli are just seeming to soak up the pressure from Sampdoria, looking for how Sampdoria are going to cope with the mess that's in the middle of the park. And Liam made the very valid point that Sampdoria are all right-sided, with Lombardo down on the right. Mancini's trying to get to the left, but he's a whole-hearted midfield player, but only a half-hearted winger. And he doesn't look positive when he's making it that way. So I think at the moment that Napoli are just looking to soak it up from the back and in the middle. And I have noticed that once or twice that the centre halves of Sampdoria are not happy with the surface at all. They seem very unsteady on their feet, very unsure in their minds, in their thinking. And I think that Fonseca up front is just looking for that one ball that escapes the centre halves, and he's going to be onto it like a flash.
OK, Malcolm, hear from you later on. Away by Vierkevord, then from Serena. It's Di Canio through the middle this time, rather than Fonseca, who again has been in top form, Fonseca, this season since returning from World Cup duty with Uruguay. Fonseca with 8 goals, and they've come in just 12 matches. Now on by Lombardo, down goes Mancini, appealing for a penalty, and it's given. Dismay for Napoli. Mancini always struggling there to get back at Mancini, and the penalty given.
I think he called it wrong, Peter. My initial view was that it was a penalty. I thought Mancini tugged him, but I think you'd see Mancini is very, very able at going down. For me, it wasn't a penalty.
Well, the referee, no hesitation from him. He's surrounded now by a posse of irate defenders. Absolutely adamant that was a penalty kick. Mancini, who's so adept in that kind of situation, so often wins a penalty. And now Italia has to face, I think, David Platt taking the kick. Mancini has missed the last two that he's taken. So a great opportunity for David Platt to give his team the lead. Oh, but now he saved it. Italia. Oh, marvellous stop. And frustration now on the face of David Platt. Well, all credit there to the keeper, Liam.
Yeah, it was a good save. Probably justice has been done there. I don't think it was a penalty. It was a good strike from Platt. Probably not hard enough on the keeper. He did very well to save it.
And off the line then, with Italia unable to reach the cross. So Sampdoria, in the shape of David Platt, wasting the chance to go in front.
I think it was a matter of guessing right, which Italia did. And then it looked a quite comfortable save, really. You know, Sampdoria, Peter, have had terrible problems with penalty taking. They really, I remember when Vialli was there, he couldn't score penalties. Mancini took it over, he couldn't score. And now David Platt, his first one, I think, and he's failed from the penalty spot. And all these things count at the end of the season.
Well, there has been a goal elsewhere. Foggia have taken the lead against Lazio. Di Biagio with the opening goal for Foggia. Lazio up in 5th place, so they will be looking for at least a point from that game today, but at the moment they're a goal down, Paul Gascoigne's team. We think he's playing today. Hope to have news of that later. Almost at the halfway point in the first half in the Luigi Ferrari Stadium. Sampdoria 0, Napoli 0. David Platt missing from the penalty spot. Certainly in the eyes of Liam Brady, justice was done. I'm not saying I disagree, Liam. And I'm told Paul Gascoigne is definitely playing today. He's wearing a plastic chest unit to cover up one of his injuries.
Has he got his mask on as well, Pete?
I think so. He had flu as well last week, I think. He's got a rib problem, but he's out there, and he had a marvellous first half last week against Sampdoria, and the game rather died when he went off. Such was the influence that he was having. That's Gaza for you. Fonseca with Di Canio taking over, prodded on then by Bordin. Oh, Pecchia, Di Canio over the bar. And they were looking very uncertain at the back then, Sampdoria. Malcolm McDonald was making the point earlier that they're not looking too comfortable, certainly in that central area at the back.
Well, that was a half a chance for Di Canio, just got under it. But again, the possibility came about with Gambaro getting down the left side, and it was his header across the goal that caused Sampdoria problems.
Jonas Tern, the Swedish international. Here's Manini. Now Sacchetti. Bullet. Released by Corradini. Certainly reassuring for Lippi, the coach of Napoli, to know that he can bring Corradini and Francini into the side, two very experienced defenders, even though he's lost Ferrara and young Cannavaro, who'd been playing so well. Work by Ivani, slipping it on now then for Serena. Here's Mancini. Via to the rescue. Puzo, who has this deeper role now in the Napoli side. He lost his place earlier in the season, but he's come back in a different guise. Down goes Jugovic, hounded by Bordin. Organising the free kick as coach Lippi looks on. Coach of Napoli, that is. His first season in charge, having moved from Atalanta. Someone else you remember from your Sampdoria days, Lippi.
Yes, Marcello was the youth team coach at Sampdoria. In fact, he had Gambaro in his youth team. It wouldn't surprise me if he ended up at Sampdoria in his career, Peter. He's a very popular man in Genoa, and I think he deserves a chance maybe at the bigger clubs.
This is Franchini, captaining Napoli in the absence of Ferrara. Now Lombardo, no foul. Gambaro looking disgusted, but the referee waving play on. Lombardo in towards Hullet. Jugovic, Hullet goes in again! Oh! Well, he outjumped the goalkeeper last week to score and almost repeated that today.
Yeah, very hesitant Naples defence there, and Gullit was well above the goalkeeper and just couldn't keep it on target. That all came about with a real aggressive tackle by Lombardo and a good cross. And the Naples defence looked hesitant.
Italia down injured now. But he never really looked like reaching that ball as Hullet climbed for it. He is so strong in the air, Ruud Hullet.
Italia probably did enough to put Hullet off, but he was always going to be second for that ball.
Didn't really seem to be any danger at first, but then the hesitancy at the back from Napoli presented Hullet with the chance. Relief for Italia. What a great jump by Hullet. Just inches past the post. Gambaro. Fonseca. No offside, free kick given to Sampdoria, who've had a couple of home defeats this season, beaten by Roma and Cagliari, but have been very impressive away. Now Sacchetti in trouble, and he's handled that, and he'll be in more trouble. Yellow card for Sacchetti, the young Sampdoria defender.
Yeah, we probably saw what Malcolm MacDonald was on about there, Peter, that the passing was very slack by Manini. Another bad pass from Verk would put the boy Sacchetti in trouble, and he ended up being booked.
Maliuca, who's had only a couple of clean sheets this season, which rather underlines the fact that Sampdoria haven't been tight enough at the back. Way by Corradini. Now Buzo going in strongly. Here's Di Canio. Not easy for players to run with the ball, certainly in the central areas where it's very, very heavy. Bia to Buzo. Fell then surely by Serena. Referee trying to allow the advantage to Napoli, which they've taken up now with Di Canio. Maliuca just about making the save as Gambaro came in at the far post. He seemed almost reluctant to have a go then, Di Canio.
Yeah, it's difficult. The ground is heavy, Peter. It's difficult to get any real power. But again, Manini, sloppy play from Manini. And Di Canio was in there. That was half a chance as well.
Turn, an excellent pass, finding Di Canio again. Slipped on towards Fonseca. And Maliuca had to be at his most alert.
That was nearly a great ball, wasn't it, from Di Canio? Good run from Fonseca. Great vision.
Off Corradini for a throw to Sampdoria, taken by Ruud Hullet. Sacchetti. Now Buzo. Picked up though by Vierkovod. Jugovic, he's given it away rather carelessly to Franchini. There's Pecchia, a good run by Gambaro. Spotted though by Sacchetti. And surprise, surprise, Roberto Baggio has scored for Juventus away to Cremonese. That's his 11th of the season. The European Footballer of the Year, giving Juventus the lead. Juventus in second place, 3 points behind Milan. Fonseca. Down goes Pecchia, somewhat theatrically. No question of a foul there. I'm hearing Paul Gascoigne has been booked. What can you say, Leo? Proves he's playing anyway.
Well, I think everybody knows with Paul Gascoigne that he's one of the best players in the world. But he really has to get his head sorted out and get his fitness back to what it should be if he's going to fulfill what everybody knows about him.
It's not just his head at the moment, it's his legs, his arms, his back. But I know what you're saying. Jonas turn. Screwed away off Sacchetti. Napoli beginning to impose themselves a little more now as the half wears on. Turn. Touched in by Di Canio, Bordin. Good tracking back though by Lombardo. It does work so hard for Sampdoria. And has been playing so well that there is talk of an international recall for Lombardo. He was recalled briefly for one of the recent internationals, but only lasted until half-time. That. Now Mancini's on his way. Was that a terrific end by Beer? Not this time. Well, maybe more so than the first one, Leo.
Yes, that was a stonewall certainty. And the referee's got it wrong again. What a great volley pass from David Platt to send Mancini away.
Trying now to get Lombardo clear, and he is. Hullet was in the middle, and it's good goalkeeping by Italia, who cut the angle down. Suddenly Sampdoria coming to life though, and David Platt most instrumental in those last two attacks.
Yeah, great pass to Lombardo. Lombardo's pace took him past Bia. And I think if he had kept his cross on the deck, Gullit would have side-footed it in.
Di Canio. Here's Pecchia. Good foraging again by Gambaro. Well, to no avail, but he has made a lot of very useful excursions upfield. Sacchetti just having the strength there to hold him off. Well, Mancini will certainly feel hard done by on the lack of a penalty decision in his favour the second time.
Yeah, you have to question the referee here. Did he not have the courage to give it after giving the first one? That's probably what's gone through his mind. Again, it was a difficult decision for him. He's caught in the middle of the pitch, the referee. He's not really been able to keep up with the play because it was such a long pass from David Platt.
He was suddenly caught out by the speed of the break. Were Napoli. Now Hullet. Well-timed intervention by Corradini, but there's Hullet again. Out by Turn. Only as far as Ivani. Hullet again. Tagliatella lost it. Jugovic. Well, somehow Napoli survive. Hullet whipping over the cross. Gambaro couldn't reach it, nor could Tagliatella. And that looked to be a corner to me, but the referee has given the goal kick.
It did. I don't know whether Jugovic had found the target, but it certainly was deflected wide. A great ball from Hullet. Put the goalkeeper in trouble. And it just squirmed away from Mancini, went through his legs, actually.
Great persistence shown down the right by Hullet. Lombardo. Mancini, that's where he wanted it.
Well, I can understand Mancini. I've said earlier on that everything seems to be going down the right for Sampdoria, and they're not getting any width here at all on the left. And it's strange because Ivani was such an important wide player for Milan the last few years on the left, and yet he's playing in the middle of the park.
Buzo. Away by Sacchetti. Lombardo. Tangling again with Gambaro, and he's got the better of him. Jukovic. On to Lombardo. Still Lombardo. And this time he had to score. Oh, that's a cracking goal. 10 minutes of the first half to go, and at last Sampdoria take the lead.
Well, it was coming, wasn't it, Peter? Their play had been very good the last 5 minutes. Lombardo causing all sorts of problems. Great finish, what a great finish. With his left peg, his bad foot really compared to his right. Good ball from Jukovic. That's a great goal, and deservedly they take the lead.
Lombardo with his 4th goal in Serie A this season. Also that winner in the week, remember, against Inter in the Italian Cup. And this fellow's right on top of his game, Lombardo. Audaciously off to David Platt by Lombardo. His confidence now will be sky high. Hasn't missed a league game for 3 years, Lombardo. Had his ups and downs in terms of form. He's certainly playing well at the moment. He was outstanding against Lazio. Certainly caught Don Howe's eye. I remember if you watched it last week. His goal now divides the two teams. Pecchia. One for Di Canio to chase, Vierkevaart. And Di Canio was pulling him back. But Vierkevaart not looking too happy there.
Well, the pressure's on Sampdoria defence now to come up with a clean sheet. That's what's been letting them down. They look uncomfortable again today. They really must start keeping clean sheets if they're going to catch Milan.
Sacchetti, pursued by Fonseca, who poses the main danger up front, of course, for Napoli. And often has more space away from home than he has back in the Naples Stadium. Sao Paulo Stadium. Surprise developing maybe in Parma's stadium. They're a goal down at home to Udinese. Parma 0, Udinese 1. But Toto has scored his first ever goal in Serie A. Vierkevaart, threatened by Di Canio. And his determination rewarded with a corner kick. Turn. Quickly closed down though by Lombardo. Now the counter-attack is on for Sampdoria. Mancini outsmarted though by Corradini. Very cool defending by him. Corradini, who was in the 1990 championship squad. Napoli, of course, champions in 87 and 90, in the days of Maradona and Careca, Zola. A new era now. And the prospects are much better for them than they were looking a few weeks ago, when they started the season pretty poorly.
That's right, Peter. They're well in contention for a UEFA Cup place, which is a major surprise considering the goings-on at Naples this year.
And certainly improved times from the end of last season, where they only avoided relegation by a couple of points. Hullet marauding up front. Away from Beer. Such determination shown by Hullet, and it was Buso who got back at him with the saving tackle. Danger was certainly threatening then for Sampdoria. Mancini with the corner. Di Canio. Not the best of corners from Mancini for once. Fonseca sliding it on to Di Canio. Fonseca continuing his run down the right. It's turned now through the middle. Still Di Canio. Fonseca almost brushing his teammate aside then. Out by Platt. Bourdin. Now Di Canio. Buzo. And that will earn him a jeer or two from the Sampdoria fans. A second goal has been scored by Foggia, Capellini, so they lead Lazio now by 2-0. Lazio in some trouble. Starting this game 5 points behind Milan. But as far as we know, no goals yet in the San Siro. Milan at home to the bottom side, Lecce. Down goes Viercabon. And that looks very painful. Viercabon, once described by Diego Maradona, no less, as the incredible Hulk. Such a formidable defender. And he was obviously caught then by Fonseca. Malcolm McDonald, what do you make of it so far?
Well, Sampdoria have certainly shown that they're much the stronger side in this first half. Although before the goal came, I think that they were very fortunate for the young right-back Sacchetti to actually stay on the field. He only got a yellow card for that handball, but the rules actually say the last man, if he handles it, it's a sending off offence. And I think the referee was very kind on that. But I think with that good fortune that things started to turn around for Sampdoria. Although I must say that Platt, he telegraphed that penalty. I think everybody in the ground knew where he was going to put it, and it's the only thing that the goalkeeper for Napoli has done right so far.
What about the second incident, Malcolm? Would you have given a penalty there?
I didn't think the first one was a penalty. The second one certainly was, and I think the referee really quite bottled it. I think that he had doubts as to whether he had made a mistake on the first one, and so put the whole thing right in his own mind with the second one by not giving it.
Well, there's danger here for Sampdoria, but it's cleared in the end. My word, they were living dangerously. Turn. Sacchetti dodging away from Bourdin. Sampdoria leading by 1-0. Goal from Lombardo in the 34th minute. But in fairness to Napoli, Liam, they're having plenty of the play.
Yes, they put up a very decent show so far, and they're not out of this game by any means.
Here's Jonas' turn. Now Buzo. It's always an excellent atmosphere in the stadium. This tight, almost claustrophobic atmosphere. With the stand so close to the pitch, that's Fonseca trying to make his presence felt. Now Beer coming forward. Sampdoria being pressed back here. Gambaro. Getting whistled by the Sampdoria fans. Buzo. Still Buzo, and Paliuca out bravely, but did he bring him down? I think he's given the penalty. Well, it was a reckless challenge by Paliuca, and indeed the penalty has been awarded by Fabio Baldas. What did you make of that one, Liam?
Well, I think it's a penalty, and it happens so often in the game that the forward just gets a nick on the ball, and the keeper cannot stop his momentum taking him into the player, and it's a penalty, there's no doubt about it. I don't know what Paliuca is going on about. I don't think he had to come out so rashly. And again, Sampdoria defence not very convincing when Naples get the ball up and around the area.
It certainly looked there on the replay as if Buzo just got a touch before Paliuca sent him crashing to the ground. It's Napoli's first penalty of the season. I would think Fonseca is going to take it. He's the man in form. Lethal in front of goal. What's he like from this distance?
Well, it doesn't look very pretty where he has to kick the ball from. It looks very, very heavy, very muddy. He better smack this.
Fonseca. And a save by Pagliuca. The second penalty missed in the game. And Pagliuca redeems himself with the save.
Well, an easy save for Pagliuca. But I was saying, Peter, the pitch was so heavy there, he really should have walked up to that and smacked it as hard as he could. Instead of that, he side-footed it. He hasn't got any power on it at all, and it's an easy save.
A dramatic first half. On from Fonseca. Sampdoria now lucky to be level. Here's Turn. Fonseca, off goes Pecchia. Jugovic. And the ball handled by Turn. Fabio Beldas, the man at the centre of the controversy. A yellow card for Turn. He's awarded 2 penalties, denied Sampdoria what seemed to be a more obvious one. And we're now into injury time at the end of the first half.
I think Verkoud's in trouble, Peter. He's limping very badly. He's got a back injury, I think. Might not see him second half.
Gambaro, we've seen plenty of him in this first half. Don't think he'll have the pace, though, to get away from Hullet. Corradini, the last few seconds of the half, although there will be some injury time to add on. Manini with the clearance. Now Mancini popping up on the Sampdoria right, linking with Ivani. Jugovic. Mancini, has he picked out Hullet here? It was so nearly a perfect pass by Mancini.
Yeah, great skill from Mancini there, the outside of his right foot. Very nearly got Hullet in along the dead ball line. What a great first half we've seen, Peter. 2 very committed sides. Trying very hard to win the game. Let's hope it continues second half.
Yes, it took a little while to get going, but once it did, plenty of activity in both penalty areas. And all credit to Napoli for the way they've come back. And they'll be kicking themselves that they haven't drawn level. The missed penalty by Fonseca. Here he is again now. Serena. Verkoud certainly wasn't looking too happy. Nor is Hullet now. Corradini brings him down. How could you, he says. It's a pretty rugged defender, Corradini. That's a yellow card for him. And no question there. He was absolutely adamant that Hullet was going no further. Wrestled him to the ground. Jugovic. Happier on his right foot than his left, although he's down the left side very often. That's Mancini with the shot. And he won't be too proud of that. Mancini on 98 goals in Serie A. And he's had opportunities in recent weeks to chalk up the century, but has missed a couple of penalties. Didn't fancy it today. Might be wishing now that he had. The half-time whistle blown by Fabio Beldas. Sampdoria leading by 1-0. The goal by Lombardo in the 34th minute. 2 missed penalties by David Platt of Sampdoria and by Daniel Fonseca of Napoli. And it certainly has been an eventful first 45 minutes. That's the way of it at half-time. We'll be back after the break.
away on a 50-minute cup of tea or something. He missed a spectacular goal by Lombardo, a couple of missed penalties, and all sorts of other excitements to boot. So the score here, 1-0, Sampdoria leading. Time to go now through the rest of the half-time scores around Serie A. They are as follows. Cremonese are drawing 1-1 with Juventus. Baggio, the first scorer there, followed by Gian De Biaggi for Cremonese. Foggia 2-0 up over Lazio. De Biagio, then Capolini, rather spoiling the pattern of names there for Foggia. Lazio, as Peter Brackley mentioned, with Gascoigne already booked. Milan and Lecce 0-0, rather surprisingly the result there, the score there, I should say. Parma trailing by a goal to Udinese. Bertotto got his first goal of the season, first goal in Serie A, in fact, for Udinese to put them in front. Roma also trailing at home to Genoa. Scuravi, Thomas Scuravi, the scorer there. Reggiana and Inter 0-0. Sampdoria, as we say, 1-0 up over Napoli with that goal from Lombardo. And Torino 0-0 with Piacenza. Silenzi, the leading scorer in Serie A, missing a penalty. Cagliari-Atalanta is the late game that'll be played at the Sant'Elia tonight in Sardinia. Right, well, that's how things stand so far in the 18th weekend of this season. We'll be talking to Malcolm MacDonald in a minute or two. But right now, it's time to have a look back at the best of last Sunday's scores with our golden goals.
Yes, your chance to look at some great goals, all contenders for January's Goal of the Month competition. Paul Gascoigne will choose his top selections from those and others screened over the next few weeks. If you eventually agree with his number one choice, you could win an Alitalia Italia Tour trip to see Lazio play Milan in Rome next month. Remember, the best of these, plus the top goals of the next few weeks, will make up our January Goal of the Month finals. No cards yet, please. But congratulations to Mrs. Trott of Croydon, winner of our December competition. She'll be off to Rome next month along with all our previous winners. And this was her choice of the Goal of the Month. Goal number 4, Matthias Floriancic for Cremonese against Piacenza.
Welcome back to the Luigi Ferrari Stadium in Genoa, where the score is 1-0 to Sampdoria. With me here, Malcolm MacDonald. Malcolm, very interesting first half also for some of the refereeing decisions.
Well, yeah, we thought the pitch was going to be a telling factor on the game, and in fact, the referee has changed the whole picture of the game at times, with giving a penalty which wasn't a penalty to start with, ignoring a blatant penalty on the very same player, Mancini. And I think he was trying to level up his own mistake, and then he's given a penalty for Napoli near to half-time, which was a most ridiculous decision. It was nowhere near a penalty, and in fact the ball was rebounding off the advertisement hoarding before the goalkeeper had even touched the guy. And in other areas he's had a very good game, but it's just on these very crucial penalty decisions that he's been very, very bad.
OK, well, we'll hand back there to Peter Brackley and Liam Brady for our coverage of the second half.
Thank you, James. Well, it's all about opinions. Malcolm didn't think that was a penalty. You most certainly did, Liam, the last one. I did too, I must say.
When we were at the Arsenal, Peter, Malcolm and I had a lot of arguments, and this is going to be another one. For me, it was a bad decision from Pagliuca to come, and he played the man. The ball hadn't gone out, so it's a penalty. Sorry, Malcolm.
He's not listening. Now then, the second half underway with Napoli now attacking the goal to our left, and this is Sacchetti for Sampdoria. Lombardo, the goal scorer. Now then to Hullet. Off goes Lombardo. He's such a willing runner in the Sampdoria side. Gambaro, who was impressive down the left side for Napoli in the first half, and we certainly felt that was what was lacking for Sampdoria. No one really doing that down the left for them. Often it was Jugovic who popped up there, who's very much a right-footed player. And they haven't managed to get Serena down the left too often, Sampdoria. Offence there by Pecchia. Out by Fraccini. Sereno with Buzo. Given away though to Ivani. Sereno with the free kick. Up top by Hullet, but to no real effect, and it's Bia. Slotting it on, Fonseca, glorious touch by him. Then from Pecchia. Buzo. And far too close to Pagliuca. Away by Bia. Now Gambaro. Ever present in the Napoli side this season, having had so few opportunities with Milan. Gambaro. Di Canio. Now Bourdin. Corradini taking over. Now turn. Buzo. Patient approach play by Napoli. Corradini on for Fonseca. Look how tightly there Vierkovon is sticking with him. We were wondering if Vierkovon would reappear for the second half, but he seems to have recovered from that back injury. Di Canio. Sampdoria can't get the ball back off them now. Gambaro. Chance to cross it in. Here's Di Canio. And Sacchetti just about did enough then to deny him a shooting opportunity. But Sampdoria, again, looking rather shaky at the back. Gambaro away from Lombardo. Good spell this for Napoli. But it comes to nothing as Jugovic finds Hullet. Jugovic again. Again, there was no one out on that left side, and it's Bia in possession for Napoli, who've come out in fighting mood. No doubt some words of wisdom at half-time from Lippi, the coach, who's a former Sampdoria player. Fonseca, tumbled by Sacchetti, right on the edge of the box. And Napoli, Liam, have come out in very determined fashion.
Yeah, that's right. They're pushing a lot of people forward, and Sampdoria having difficulty coping with the amount of bodies that are coming forward. However, I think one of the things we'll have to watch for is Sampdoria on the counter-attack. Hullet and Mancini, and nearly had a chance there with Jugovic, but he overran it. So I think that's kind of the pattern of the game we're going to be seeing, Peter. Napoli coming forward with plenty of players, and Sampdoria trying to catch them on the break.
Fonseca still down injured. A player who has scored many spectacular goals in his time in Italy. First with Cagliari and then with Napoli, and he reckons the best of the lot was one against Sampdoria for Cagliari. Very impressive bicycle kick, even better than the one we saw against Parma just before Christmas. Fonseca, who's so important to Napoli. Missed the first 5 games this season because of those World Cup commitments with Uruguay. And his strike against Parma was his 50th goal in all games in Italy. His 4th season in Serie A, despite being only 24. David Platt taking his place at that Sampdoria wall. Now will Fonseca try one from here? Villa is there too, and Di Canio. But here is Fonseca! And it's a goal for Napoli! Fonseca! Well, no wonder they're celebrating. They've come out and played with a real purpose at the start of the second half. And their reward is Fonseca's 9th goal in 13 games this season.
Yeah, so he's whipped it around the wall, Peter, over the wall, and that's a great goal. He actually had mud in his eye, and Lombardo helped clean it out, so I don't know whether he did the right thing there or not. Got his sight certainly clean, and in she went.
The goal 5 minutes into the second half. Lombardo through. Hulic! 2 goals in a minute. Well, they say teams are at their most vulnerable when they've just scored a goal, and the point was underlined again with yet another goal by Hulic. But no, the protests are going on here. Well, amidst the confusion, it's hard to say whether the referee has given the goal or not. I'm sure he has.
I think he's given the goal, Peter. But he definitely looked offside, Lombardo, but I'm not too sure if he was. There she goes.
Well, he must have been offside, surely.
Well, it certainly looked like it. And I think what's happened now, the Naples players and the Napoli players and Lippi have taken it to task with the linesman. But the referee's decided it's a goal.
Well, there was no flag from the linesman. Certainly seeing the replay there, and it was hard to tell initially without looking across the line, but it would have seemed that Lombardo was offside. Fonseca pleading the case, so is Latella, but I think their protests are in vain. Malcolm McDonald, what was your view of that?
I thought it was a very, very tight decision, and I thought that the timing of Lombardo's run was so precise that you had to be absolutely in line to know whether he was onside or offside. Having got there, he was very, very cool and very generous in the way he allowed Hulic to take it. But the linesman was dead in line with the play at that moment in time. We'd have to study a replay very carefully.
Well, the arguments are still raging in the Luigi Sforare Stadium. But the goal stands. It's really the timing of the pass, when the ball was released. It's hard to tell to be certain, but I would have thought that was offside from the view we've had there. Well, we've had some controversial moments in this game, Liam.
Yes, it's been a very difficult game for the referee.
And such disappointment for Napoli, having taken the lead and started the second half so brightly. Sampdoria almost immediately back on level terms. Hulic, that's 11 for him this season. His best ever tally in Serie A. Lombardo, who paved the way for the second goal, having scored the first. Ivani. Sampdoria 2, Napoli 2. Lombardo hoisting it forward. Up goes Mancini. Villa and Francini between them, just about managing to keep him at bay. getting confused as everybody else is. It's 2-1 Sampdoria, my mistake there. All that's going on. I've given an extra goal to Napoli. Sorry about that. Franchini. 10 minutes into the second half. It's all these missed penalties are throwing me. Another yellow card. It's all happening here. And the referee is having a very, very difficult afternoon. Vukovic now with a caution. Lombardo trying to make progress down the flank, but that was curtailed by Jonas Turn. Sagetti stumbling, and the referee has given a goal kick. Touchback by Manini. Pagliuca having to whack it clear. Buzo. Becchia battling hard. That though to knock it on for Sampdoria. Now Hullet. And off the legs of Franchini. Foul on Jugovic. Play just becoming a little scrappy for the moment. Bourdin was the offender this time. Mancini taking the free kick for Sampdoria. Oh, out by Corradini. That was an important clearance.
Yes, Mancini is really dangerous at set pieces. That was a great free kick bent in. Good interception because Gullit was just about to knock it in at the far post.
Lombardo underneath this one. And has the mark on the forehead to show it. I'm hearing that Parma have missed a penalty as well. They're trailing Udinese by 1-0. Brolin has missed the kick. And Lazio pull one back away to Foggia and let box it. In by Jugovic. That's turned with a header. Then out by Gambaro. Sagetti. And the flag's up for offside. May have been Hullet. Bia. Interception was by Ivani, then Serena, a little too casual there. Napoli fighting so hard to make an impression now. Becchia. That was David Platt helping out. Jugovic. Lombardo. Now Platt. Wide of him is Hullet. Does he have the pace here? Villa was in the way. And another purposeful run by Rudhulli. Buzo. On by Bodin. Becchia linking with Fonseca. A little unlucky then. His touch let him down. Mancini, and it was Franchini who came across to cover.
I think Napoli are obviously suffering, having giving that goal away, to have fought so hard and to play themselves back in the game, and with the free kick from Fonseca to equalise, and then to lose that goal immediately afterwards. I think they're still trying to recover from that blow.
Just after the hour mark now. Sampdoria leading 2-1. 2 penalties missed, 1 for each side. Fonseca. Little tuck then by Platt on Beer. Now Di Canio with the corner. Out by Hullet as Pagliuca stayed on his line. Gambaro. Manini. It falls for turn. Now Di Canio. Bodin. Quickly closed down by Jugovic. Sampdoria with some defending to do now as Napoli again look to press forward. Franchini. Buzo. How dearly he'd love to score against his former club. Still Buzo. Di Canio taking over. Fonseca onto that lethal left foot. And Pagliuca making the save.
Yeah, that's better from Napoli. They've got the passing going again. They're getting men forward. It's a good shot from Fonseca.
Buzo. Di Canio. Hit back off Sacchetti into the path of Gambaro. Now Bodin. Mancini. Off goes Hullet. Here covering well. May not be the quickest defender in the business, but he's certainly reading the play very well, Beer. The young man they called the Baresi of Serie B last season when he was with Cosenza on loan. Vanni. That's a great pass. Hullet released. Now, is this going to be another one for Sampdoria? Still Hullet. Back for Platt. Oh, and he scuffed his shot dreadfully there. Oh, what a waste, David. He'll be furious with himself.
Well, he actually had time, Peter, here to stop the ball and pick a spot. He rushed it a bit and he never really got hold of it. Great play from Gullit, great pass from Vanni. And that's what I'm saying, they're going to be trying to catch Naples on the break.
Di Canio, Fonseca, just tagging with Viercavon, who pulled up there, still being troubled by his back problem. Yeah. Showing commendable composure then. Gambaro. Fonseca, whose goal brought Napoli right back into the game, but then they were suddenly caught on the break themselves for the second Sampdoria goal. Mancini trying to nod it off towards Hullet. Now Gambaro. There's one for Mancini to run onto, but Mancini with the back header. Italia was always struggling to keep that one in. Approaching the halfway point in the second half. And Sampdoria would really love the cushion of an extra goal. Mancini in the 6-yard box. There's a lot of jostling going on there. Here's Ivani. Only partially clear. Back in by Manini. Hullet. It was its full stretch. I think there may have been a flag up anyway for offside, but the referee allowing play to go on as Buzo looks for Fonseca, and Sacchetti doing well.
Yeah, an excellent header there from Sacchetti. Napoli had 2 men forward there. He really needed to defend well, and he did exactly that.
Down by Hullet. Gambaro under pressure from Mancini. And there seems to be a suggestion that Mancini may be coming off in a moment. He has had this troublesome injury. And there's a switch certainly being made by Napoli. Looks like Bresciani to come on in place of Buzo, the man on loan from Sampdoria. Kavot. Here's Lombardo. Bullets with Bia. Reggiana have scored at home to Inter, for whom things aren't going too well at the moment. Reggiana 1, Inter 0. Chiesa with the goal. Inter, whose hopes of the title have slipped a little in recent weeks. And surprisingly, it's still Milan 0, Lecce 0. The Lecce goalkeeper Gatter, I gather, is having an outstanding match. String of superlative saves. As we'll see, of course, on Gazzetta on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock with Paul Gascoigne. Jonas Turn. Brought in. That'll be Paliukas. Now Hullet. Great work by him. He left Corradini trailing in his wake still. Hullet! And it was Jonas Turn at the last. With every passing match, it becomes harder and harder to believe that Milan were prepared to let Ruud Gullit go, Liam.
Well, that's right, Peter. He's got 11 goals.
Maybe 12. On from Lombardo's pass, and there's Gullit. Oh! Just past the post and just beyond Roberto Mancini, arriving in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, Sampdoria hitting them on the break now. Another good run from Gullit. And it's a clever little pass across, and Mancini just doesn't make it. A little bit slow getting in the box, maybe, Mancini. But another powerful run from Gullit.
Pass or a shot there, Liam, from Gullit?
A pass.
Right. Vecchia. Mancini. One for Jugovic. Tangling with Bia, who was strong enough to resist him. Sampdoria certainly realising that their 2-1 advantage may not necessarily be enough. They need another goal to make sure, you would feel. Fonseca. That's a foul on Sacchetti.
Well, I think Fonseca is saying it was shoulder to shoulder, and he probably has a point. I guess in England that might not have been given.
Pagliuca was mighty relieved that it was. 20 minutes left. Lombardo, away from turn. Showing terrific pace, Lombardo. Mancini was in the middle, and Jugovic. Just squeezed his shot in there. Couldn't really get any power on it, though. Certainly not enough to beat Italia. Bodin. Di Canio, just overhit though for Bresciani, who scored in this fixture on the opening day of the season when he came on as a substitute.
Talking about Hullet there, Peter, and the influence he has on this Sampdoria team, and how Milan could be missing him. I think it's the role he's playing for Sampdoria suits him. He doesn't have to do so much chasing back. He's playing as an out-and-out front man, and he can get his rest when the other team has the ball.
David Platt wins it back well. Ranini. Outsmarting Fonseca, but failing to find Ruud Gullit. £1 million he cost. What a bargain, Ruud Gullit. When you think of the millions they spend on some players out in Italy, it has to be the bargain of the decade. Di Canio. Pecchia. Lombardo in so quickly. So alert then to spot the possibilities. Mancini. Platt's gone forward. Serena here. Arrogance from Mancini. Goes Platt. Good save by Italia. David had made one of those foraging runs through the middle. In by turn. Bresciani. Bjerkevold just got in there first. Gambaro. And Napoli certainly haven't given up the chase.
No, and he's not giving up either, this Gambaro. He's been up and down that wing time and time again. I think it's a really important match for him here to come back, and he's giving 110%.
Biar. Fonseca. Now he's found Di Canio, but Napoli will want Fonseca in the middle. Still Di Canio. Cicchetti couldn't get it out. Fonseca had got forward, and Pagliuca with just about a clearance.
Good play from Di Canio there. Good bit of skill to get his cross in. And any time Napoli have got the ball in the box, they've caused problems for the Sampdoria defence.
It's Fonseca now. Pagliuca swiftly up to the edge of the 6-yard box as Fonseca came flying in. Scores goals from all angles, Fonseca. Gullit. Now then for Platt. Too many defenders though for David Platt to contend with. Didn't go down too well with his Sampdoria teammates, and away comes turn. Fonseca. He spotted the run of Pecchia, but the pass was just too strong. He looks exhausted, Lombardo. No wonder, Liam. He's made some terrific runs down this flank.
Well, that's right, and the pitch is so heavy. It's really telling on the players. But what we've had is we've had real commitment from both sides here. Probably technically we've seen better matches. I think that's a lot to do with the pitch. But it's been a tremendously exciting game.
And Pollicano now coming on to replace Corradini. Very competitive player, Pollicano. And he's popped up with some useful goals too. He got 2 in one of the recent matches. Mancini with Franchini. 15 minutes to go. Sampdoria 2, Napoli 1. Still, as far as we know, no goals in the San Siro. Milan 0, Lecce 0. If it stays that way, it really will be a lift for the other teams chasing Milan at the top. Especially Sampdoria, if they can hold on to this result. Apologies there for the temporary loss of vision. Bullet. No, Franchini with the pass back. Here's Bourdin. He may well have a more defensive role now that Corradini has gone off. Policano, an attacking player.
Well, I think it's the last throw of the dice for Lippi, and he's taking a chance at the back there with Bourdin coming back, place of Corradini, and they're pushing Policano forward in the hope that they can get this equaliser.
Here. Fonseca. Appeals in vain towards the referee, and that was a mighty close thing. So quick off the mark then, Fonseca, and well, Sacchetti was holding him off.
Well, we've just seen a free kick given against Fonseca for the use of his shoulder, and there the referee judges it not to be a free kick. Not an easy one to call, that one.
Well, let's see what Malcolm McDonald thought of that. You've not agreed with us so far, Malcolm. What about that one?
Yeah, I think that Di Canio was, sorry, Fonseca. He was looking for the penalty. I think he's a big lad. He's a strong lad. If it looked to burst his way past the defender, then he would have had a chance of getting it before the goalkeeper. And I think that the people are getting too penalty conscious at the moment.
If that had been you, you'd have claimed a penalty there, Malcolm. Come on.
Not me.
Liam's just fallen off his chair at that. That wasn't out of the area. But we certainly have had an eventful afternoon in this match from Genoa. 3 goals, 2 missed penalties. I've given Napoli an extra goal. It's all happening. Pecchia. Bia. Straight though to Ivani, who's had a quieter second half. Playing in that central area has been the most difficult part of the pitch. Di Canio with a throw then for Napoli. Policano. Pecchia. Good tackle by Jugovic. Ivani now. Oh, Hullet had gone the other way. Not exactly hanging on, Sampdoria, but the lead still looks a little precarious nonetheless. Lombardo now, hoping to increase their advantage. Policano clattering into the tackle. No foul given. Policano. He spotted the runner. Bresciani! Offside.
A great ball from Policano. And again, we have a marginal decision. It doesn't look offside to me. And Napoli will feel they've been very hard done this game, because Lombardo looked offside for Sampdoria's second goal, and that one didn't look offside to me.
Well, the linesman's flag was clearly raised just as Bresciani steered it in. What a let-off for Sampdoria. Hullet riding the challenge of Bordin. He's got Lombardo in the middle. Hullet again. Now surely foul bit by Bordin. Napoli allowing their frustration to show. And well, they might feel frustrated. That did look a very marginal decision at the other end. My first reaction certainly was that Bresciani looked onside as the ball was played through. I don't really think the replay was conclusive one way or the other. Anyway, here's Ivani. I don't think that tall-man wall is far enough away. And that certainly is the opinion of Fabio Baldas, who's having his work cut out today, keeping control of this game. Ivani's free kick. Birkabot missing his shot. Lombardo! Tremendous stop by Italia. Well,
great shot from Lombardo with his left foot again. Great strike and a great save.
I think maybe those Napoli defenders were claiming he didn't get a hand to it, but I'm sure he did.
I still think they're moaning about the decision not to give the goal from Bresciani.
Mancini with the corner. Difficult one for the goalkeeper to deal with. Right underneath the bar.
Yeah, he really does spin the ball, Mancini, when he strikes it. Very, very dangerous. Very difficult to deal with for defenders and the goalkeeper.
He's got another chance here. Roberto Mancini, the captain of Sampdoria. Too long though for David Platt.
Going back to that offside decision, Peter, I think Bresciani's run was a very good one. And I think he was at least a yard onside when he made his run.
Bia taking the goal kick. It's fallen for David Platt. Hullet trying to combine with Jugovic. And the mistake by Pecchia. I thought it let him in, but no, the whistle's gone, is it? Jugovic wasn't aware of it. At least he claims he wasn't.
Yeah, Jugovic just went in with a stud showing there, and that's a foul in Italian football, whereas here in England it's very rarely given.
Salcedo coming on to replace Platt for the last few minutes. Salcedo, who's been a substitute and come on as a substitute 11 times, that's 12 now. I'll ask you about David Platt's contribution in a moment, Liam, but let's stay with this attack first. Whacked away by Lombardo. The whistle had gone anyway in favour of Sampdoria. What about David Platt then today, Liam?
Well, I think by his standards, Peter, he's had a poor game. And sometimes when you miss a penalty, it can have a negative effect on your performance. And I think that's maybe what's happened David today. He missed that penalty and he was never quite the same afterwards. He played a couple of great balls for Mancini and Lombardo in the first half. Had a real good chance in the second half and fluffed it. He's had a poor game.
Di Canio touched off by Bresciani. Bordin. Ivani. Now Hullet. Two to contend with now, and he's got away from them. Hullet. Superb play by him, and it had to be another goal. Mancini. Fabulous work by Hullet, and in the end, well, an easy finish for Mancini. But all the credit there to the mercurial Hullet.
Well, we've talked about him most of the afternoon, Peter. He's so strong, physically strong, that he can just brush people away. And he withstood 2 challenges there along the line, got to the back line, kept this cool, picked Mancini out of the far post. No problem for Mancini.
Mancini with his 99th goal in Serie A. He claims it's his 100th. There is a dispute about one that's gone down as an own goal. He reckons it was his. So there'll be some arguments after the game. Then I think there'll be plenty of those about this match. 6 minutes left, and surely it's all up now for Napoli. They've acquitted themselves well. They put up a brave display, but you would think at this stage the 2-goal margin is too big for them to come back from. You never know. Pia threads it on. Pollicano. Down he goes. Wasn't quite as bad as it looked, but it was certainly a free kick. And here again, the ball from Hullet. Well, Mancini had the easy part then.
Hullet took 3 defenders out of the game there with his dribble down the side. And really, the Naples defence were at 6s and 7s to cope with Mancini coming in at the far post.
And I wonder what Fabio Capello, the coach of Milan, will make of the highlights when he sees this game. His own team, Milan, still struggling to find a single goal against Lecce. And here's Ruud Gullit, his former star, playing in this fashion. But now, an opportunity for Napoli. Fonseca has scored once from a free kick. A bit further out this one. But an opportunity nonetheless as it spins away off the wall for the corner. (3-1) Sampdoria lead. Di Canio will take the kick. Didn't fall for Bresciani. Lombardo to bring it away. Sampdoria for the title here. It could be on.
Well, if Milan only draw today, this is going to be a really important win for them because they've been up against a very good side. Napoli can feel themselves a little hard done by.
That's Pia pumping it on. Pia Cavard with the header away.
He's been a real hero today as well, Peter. He's played on with a bad back injury. You can see he really he's in trouble all the time, but that's the kind of guy he is.
Turn. Trying to prize an opening for Fonseca. But safely through to Paliuca from Sampdoria's point of view. Jugovic on for Mancini. Salzano. Bjerkevold feeding Evani. Serena. It's his turn. Sampdoria heading then for their 11th win in Serie A this season. Milan have only 10 if they are held by Lecce. Bia. Now turn. Out by Manini. Salzano to Lombardo. We're into the last minute. Mancini cheekily back to Salzano. Bjerkevold trying to plough through the mud. Foggia, incidentally, leading Lazio by 3-1, and the Italian under-21 international defender Fabbri of Lazio has been sent off. Mandelli getting the 3rd goal for Foggia. Salzano. Hullet. Mancini. Still Mancini. And that, without any question, is the century of goals for Roberto Mancini. And what a way to reach the 100 mark.
Well, it's a combination again, Hullet-Mancini. Hullet slipped him in. Mancini's done brilliantly, kept us cool, dribbled round one, and underneath the body of the goalkeeper. A little bit demoralised now, Napoli, and I think they've conceded that goal because of that. The marking was slack and Hullet found Mancini free in the box. Great skill. What a great player he is.
Immaculate finishing then by Roberto Mancini. He was so cool at the finish. 2 goals for him, Lombardo and Hullet with the others. Lombardo, 4-1 to Sampdoria. A little harsh on Napoli, you have to say.
Yes, because they've made a real game of it for at least 80 minutes of the match. But Sampdoria, a very attractive side to watch. And I think everyone's delighted that they're up there at the top of the table, especially with people like Hullet and Mancini and David Platt in the side.
And if Milan fail to score, then they've reduced the gap just to 2 points. Juventus were also drawing when last we heard. So Sampdoria would go above Juventus into second place. Sacchetti. Thunderous noise now around the stadium from the Sampdoria fans, relishing their team's victory, as it surely will be now. Deep into injury time, a foul on Mancini. And he certainly has underlined David Platt's point, Mancini, that even if he's not fully fit, he's so valuable to Sampdoria. And he's popped up with a couple of goals today, his first since October. Lombardo. Olicano. It's all turned sour for Napoli. Vecchia.
Yeah, when the match was in the balance, a couple of decisions went against Napoli.
The final whistle. And it's a comprehensive win in the end. And all smiles for Sampdoria. Well, what an afternoon. Certainly Napoli were right back in the game with a goal from Fonseca. But then Sampdoria late on taking charge. Well, let's look back on the many incidents in this game. And this is the missed penalty, Liam, from David Platt.
Yeah, keeper guessed right. I don't think it was a particularly hard save. Waist high, good height for the goalkeeper. And that was a bad start for David Platt. And his afternoon continued like that. But I think Hullet and Mancini got him out of trouble.
A case there certainly of if the goalkeeper goes the right way, he's got a chance.
That's a great volley from David Platt. It's a brilliant pass to Mancini, and this was a penalty. I've got no doubt about that. He's tripped him, Bia has tripped him, and the referee didn't give it.
Well, he gave the earlier one, but that looked a clearer case.
Yeah, and if that had gone in, possibly Mancini have ended up with a hat-trick. You never know. This is the goal. Good ball in from Lombardo to Jukovic. And a good run from Lombardo, continued his run, great little ball in. Lombardo pulled it on his left foot and buried it. Brilliant goal.
Jukovic playing his part there, and Lombardo, such composure in the penalty box. So Sampdoria ahead at last, and on 34 minutes. Now, the Napoli penalty, opinions differed here.
Yeah, hesitancy in the Sampdoria defence. Yeah. Puso got on it. And for me, that's a penalty. I don't care what my old teammate Malcolm McDonald says. That's a penalty.
He's made contact there, no question, Puso. He's knocked it past the keeper. I don't know if Malcolm's seeing this again, but he might change his mind when he views the replay. Well, Paliuca, a distressed figure there in contrast to the smiling face we saw at the end of the game.
Yeah, and another poor penalty. I had said before that the area where the penalty spot was very, very muddy. He needed to smack it. He side-footed it. Never really got much on it. And good save from the goalkeeper.
Well, this one did go in from Fonseca. An outstanding free kick.
And looking at that again, you have to ask questions of the Sampdoria wall. The ball's come through it. It's not gone over the wall, it's come through the wall. But he's put it in a position where it was very difficult for Peljuka to get to it.
But their joy was short-lived. Now, debate will go on here about whether that was offside or not.
Yeah, it was very difficult for us to call, Peter. When the ball left, we don't see Lombardo. Looked offside, mind. Kept his cool again, Lombardo. And Sampdoria are very good in front of goal today. Mancini, Lombardo, Hullet. Nice way to score your 11th goal of the season. Now, there's no way he's offside here, Bresciani. No way. And Sampdoria have got out of jail here. Good ball from Policano. Great finish. There he goes. He's onside. Verkowood's playing him on.
And the game turned on that, really. If that one had counted, who knows what might have happened. And as it was, well, Sampdoria assumed control and came out with this goal. Played on by Hullet.
Hullet's danced around Bia, he's danced around Gambaro. He's got to the byline, looked up, picked out Mancini and said, there you are, Roberto, and knocked that one in.
Well, that was goal number 99 officially for Mancini, and this is number 100.
Yeah. On this replay here, we see a little bit later on, it's a nice little pass in from Hullet that we didn't see. Again, Mancini, different class in front of the goal. Fooled the defender by shaping up the shoot, dragged it inside, rolled it into the net.
So, there we are then. It was an impressive win in the end for Sampdoria, as I return you now to James Richardson.
Well, Malcolm, an amazing atmosphere here at the end. The fans all chanting for their hero Mancini, but for us, I think the hero was as much Ruud Hullet, although he didn't score. Yes,
he has been the hero of the whole match, apart from a little spell in the second half where he was tired, he stopped running, and Sampdoria then lost it all. And that was the one time that Napoli really came into the game, and they started to cause a lot of danger. As soon as Hullet started making his runs again, and this time he had been joined up front by Mancini, the ball was knocked forward into Hullet, and he turned his magic on. And they need 2 or 3 to mark him, and that's still not enough. And in the end, he's made Mancini 2 goals, albeit Mancini's taken them well. But it's the original running that Hullet makes, and that makes Sampdoria at the moment. It makes them a very, very strong side.
Okay, well, 4-1 the result for Sampdoria, but I know a lot of people are going to be interested to know, you're a Supermac, the hero of Arsenal, England, and of course Newcastle. What are you doing now? Why are you in Italy?
Well, I'm living in Milan. I have an office. It works in a communications information service industry, and moved here as much for an Italian lady as for anything else. The business came after the lady, and so very happily living in Milan.
Okay, well, best of luck with that. Hope to be seeing you again. Hand back now to Peter Brackley with the rest of the results.
Yes, nice to see and hear Malcolm McDonald again. Now, looking through the other results, then Cremonese won, Juventus won, so they've dropped a point today, despite a goal early on from Roberto Baggio. Gianni Biaggi replying for Cremonese. Foggia 4, Lazio 1, a real setback then for Paul Gascoigne's team today. He was booked. Boksic scored their only goal. Di Biagio, Capolini with 2, and Mandelli the scorers for Foggia. Milan 0, Lecce 0. The shock of the day, really. Lecce, the bottom side, against Milan, the leaders. They've been held in the San Siro. Parma 0, Udinese 1. Bertotti, his first goal in Serie A, that on 32 minutes, earning Udinese a surprise win away to Parma. Olin missed a penalty for Parma. Reggiana 1, Inter 0. Tramezzani sent off for Inter, and Scienza scoring the goal for Reggiana. It's Roma 1, Genoa 1. Capioli for Roma, Genoa's goal from Scuravi. And Torino 1, Piacenza 0. The goal from Giorgi, and Selenzi missed a penalty. Tonight's game, Cagliari against Atalanta. You can see that on Mezzanotte on Tuesday. That's the way of it then at the top of the table. Milan leading by Sampdoria, by 2 points from Sampdoria. Juventus in third place. Parma fourth now on 22. Leading goal scorer, Salenze on 12, followed by Baggio, another one from him today, and Hullet, one for Sampdoria. Roy and Fonseca on 9 apiece. So that's it then from today. Don't forget, plenty more Italian football to look forward to, including Mezzanotte on Tuesday. That's Cagliari against Atalanta just after midnight. On Saturday, Gazzetta, Football Italia, 11 o'clock. And of course, we'll have another live game for you on Sunday at 1:15. Till then, from Liam Brady and myself, goodbye.
The Channel 4 book, Football Italia, the official companion to the 93-94 season, with a foreword by Paul Gascoigne, is available from bookshops and it's priced at £9.99.